Hey guys, this is Vikas and this time I have a new video on Moto-G.
Phone. Okay, so budget smartphones might not attract as much as attention as their higher end counterparts, but there's no denying that these devices are in massive demand these days, especially in emerging markets like India. So Moto G is an attempt to grab buyers' attention by offering a number of features at an extremely reasonable price. There are two versions available. The first is 8 GB version, which costs around 12,499 when it was launched on 5th of Feb, and the 16 GB version that is of 13,999, that is approximately 14,000 rupees. So first we'll see about the look and feel of this phone. So the first thing that strikes about this phone is that is its novel packaging, of course. When it came to my doorstep, I didn't realize that the sleek box inside had a mobile phone inside it. So this the Moto G phone is a candy bar phone, and it doesn't have any contours. The design is very basic, yet it looks very modern over here. And at the first look, it resembles a carbon copy of Moto X, and it is also similar in most of the fronts, barring a few. So the only difference between Moto G and Moto X is that Moto G is a bit thicker than the Moto X version, and it is a bit thicker and it is a bit heavier than the Moto X. The weight of this phone is around 143 grams, and that of Moto X is 130 grams. So the Moto G has a 4.5 inch display screen, whereas the Moto X has 4.7, which is slightly higher than the Moto G. However, for an average buyer, this is not a concern actually, and should not be a concern. The Moto G doesn't have any logo or branding onto the front of the screen, but there is a logo over here, Motorola M logo. There's a 5 megapixel camera over here, and 1.3 megapixel camera for video calls over here, and there are no soft touch capacitive touch buttons onto the panel itself, but you can see there is this back button, and there's this multitasking button over here and home button, which is actually onto the screen, onto the LCD screen itself, but not on the panels, unlike the Samsung phones. And also this phone has a nano coating over it, which act as a light water repellent. So that doesn't mean that this Moto G is actually water resistant, but it does offer slight protection from slight light splashes of water and so on. It is actually an interesting feature in this phone at this price. Rear panel is actually made up of polycarbonate, and it has a comfortable feel in the hand. The panel is actually removable, and although the panel is removable, but the battery is not removable. You see here. This panel is actually removable over here, and you can see that battery cannot be removed. It's mentioned over here, battery is not user removable. Okay. So Motorola has recently announced that there would be some accessories for this phone as well. That includes a colorful flip covers like this, just as we have in Nokia Lumia series. Overall, it is a very good built phone. At times it does feel a bit plasticky, but it has a very good grip over here. One of the biggest highlight of this Moto G is its 4.5 inch 720 by 1280 pixels IPS LCD screen, which works out to a density of 329 ppi, that is pixel per inch, and which is it is interesting to note that which is slightly a bit sharper than the Apple's iPhone 5s, which is offers 326 ppi. Motorola also has used a a Corning glass 3 onto the surface to protect it from scratches, which is a feature which is found in premium devices, like which has a cost of more than 30,000 rupees. So it is an interesting catch over here. The IPS LCD screen doesn't have the fullest reproduction of color, but it is bright and the colors are constantly vibrant, so the viewing angles are actually not a problem for us. That's about screen. Now we'll move to camera. So the next segment is the review about camera. So it has a 5 megapixel rear camera, which is accompanied by a flash, LED flash, and you have a 1.3 megapixel front facing camera, which is expected at this price range. The camera delivers excellent shots, decent shots actually, in broad daylight colors, but under the low light condition it is I'm talking about 5 megapixel camera. About the low light condition, it is a real poor performer. So there are some of the shots, I'll post it now, that I've taken from this phone. You can also use that LED flash as a torch over here, and just go and download the application from Google Store. And also there's additional camera features over here. It has a 4x zoom, digital zoom. You can pull the one over here. You have a HDR recording. Then there's a flash on off. You have something called as an interesting feature called as the slow motion video, which records when you record it in normal mode, and it plays back in slow motion mode. Then there is a burst mode, which takes 99 photographs in one go. There is this auto HDR mode, panorama mode, and tap to focus mode over here. It is interesting to note that there is no ISO and exposure control settings, so it is everything auto. The front facing camera can be used for video chat, and the videos and pics using this cam is quite green. You can see my camera inside. So we'll move to the next section, that is the interface software settings. My Moto-G is currently running on Android version 4.3 now, and it is likely to be updated to Android 4.4 KitKat. It is a promised update by Motorola, and it has not been released in India yet, but I think Android version is 4.3. There are shortcuts for dialer, Chrome button, then there is menu button, messaging, and the camera app which remain visible when you switch between home screens. Okay, and then there is a drop down menu, and there's a drop down menu where you can access brightness and settings. You have there's brightness, then you have settings, network, battery, airplane mode, Bluetooth, so on. Another interesting feature that Moto-G offers is its voice guided search feature, which is you can say Canon 600D. Okay, the Moto-G is powered by 1.2 GHz quadra-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 processor with the Adreno 305 graphics, and 1 GB of RAM. I have the 8 GB version of this phone, and the user memory that was accessible for me was 5.5 GB. You can see the total space available for user usage is 5.52 GB, and also this phone doesn't have SD card support, so the limited storage can be a limiting factor while considering this phone. Also, to compensate that, Google is offering a 50 GB of free Google Drive space on for 2 years. So this phone has a 2070 mAh battery, which is fit in quite smartly and compactly under this phone, and which is also as I showed you, it is non-removable, and it can deliver a max usage of 24 hours per day, 24 hours according to Motorola. And the first charge by me, it delivered up to 21 hours of mixed usage. It consists of web browsing and watching videos on YouTube, couple of calls over here, and lasting for 20 minutes. Wi-Fi switched on, email, Facebook and WhatsApp were enabled, so quite decent usage. Okay, so that's about this phone. We'll just check out the gaming. So I'm really new at playing games, so this was actually lag free, and you can see there are multiple games running. This is Temple Run 2 running. This is all Temple Run 1 was also running, and camera. So many applications were running, but it was a good performer actually. So let's browse the web and see. Canon 600D. Okay. So it's lag free basically, and so the final verdict is that it is the cheapest phone currently running onto the latest version of Android, and it has style, it has substance, it has the cons is the only con that I note is the limited memory, and which can be a major limiting factor for this phone. So if you have a choice of going having the 8 GB version and the 16 GB version, so opt for 16 GB version. It is currently unavailable on Flipkart but as soon as it is launched, it was actually booked within 4 hours of launching, so I had to choose this 8 GB version. Nevertheless, if you have a chance, then go for the 16 GB version because it doesn't have memory card. So that's the review for Moto G. I hope you find it useful, and it's a good phone, so enjoy. Thank you so much.